Good morning, children. Today we are studying the balance of the lesson agriculture, class and social science. First of all, we want to study about the non-food crops. You know that there are two types of food crops. Two types of agriculture is there. One is that is for the consumption of food, that is food crops. Another is non-food crops. It is not for the consumption of consumption. Human consumption, that is called the non-food crops. We can divide it into two. First one is food crops. What are food crops? Food crops are the things that we consume for ourselves. Suppose rice, wheat, barley, jowar. All these things we are the millets, etc. All these things we want to consume ourselves. That crops we can call it as food crops. You know that India is an agrarian economy, and most of the people, more than 60% of the people, they are engaged in agriculture. So that agriculture has been called as the backbone of the Indian economy. Backbone of the Indian economy, that is agriculture. 60% of the population of India, they mainly depend on agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of the people of India. So mainly people, more than 60% of the people mainly depend on agriculture. There are two types of crops are there. One is food crops and another one is non-food crops. What are food crops? Food crops are the crops that we consume ourselves. Suppose rice, wheat, barley, all these things, jowar, all these things we want to consume for our consumption. That is what we can call it as food crops. Now you understood what are food crops, what are non-food crops. Today we are going to study about non-food crops. Today we are going to study about the non-food crops. From the lesson agriculture. Today we are studying about non-food crops. Which are the non-food crops? First one is rubber. You are familiar with rubber. Sometimes your parents may cultivate this rubber. So Kerala, in ancient time, Kerala is the land of coconut. People cultivate coconut. But nowadays, people are engaged in mainly they focused on which agriculture? Rubber agriculture. They mainly focused on rubber. This rubber is we can call it as cash crops or commercial crops. Rubber is cash crops or commercial crops, that is non-food crops. Not for our use. Rubber we won't eat. We won't eat rubber. So that we can call it as non-food crops. This is only for commercial purpose. We want to sell in the market and to get money. To our cash crops, we can say that is cash crops. In order to get money, to earn money, we cultivate these crops. Which crops? Rubber. You know that the rubber industry in Kerala, flourishing rubber industry. So many rubber factories are there. You know very well that so many rubber factories are running in Kerala. And rubber nowadays people are engaged in rubber cultivation. Most of the people they are engaged in rubber cultivation. That latex is used for that will be taken from the rubber. Latex that will be taken from the rubber, that will be taken as a commercial purpose, that can be sold in the market and to get money. That is rubber industry. Most of the Kerala people they are engaged in rubber industry. Rubber is considered as the non-food crops. Rubber is considered as non-food crops because the main reason is that people they mainly focused on cash crops rather than food crops. Once again I want to revise. Agriculture we can divide it into two: food crops and non-food crops. Food crops are the crops that will be cultivated for our consumption. What are food crops? Food crops are produced for our own consumption, for our use, that we can call it as food crops. What are cash crops or commercial crops or non-food crops? It is not for our human consumption. It can be sold in the market to earn money. For that purpose these non-food crops are cultivated. First of all we want to discuss about rubber. From the rubber we are taking the latex. Latex we can sell in the market and will get money. For that purpose only people they cultivated rubber. Which are the places that cultivated rubber? You know that Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, they cultivated this rubber in large scale. Kerala in large scale people cultivating rubber. This is we can call it as commercial crop or plantation crop. We can call it as a rubber. So rubber is a non-food crops. Rubber is considered as a non-food crops. Just example, cultivated the main areas cultivated rubber are Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. These places, these states cultivate rubber. Rubber is not for our human consumption. It's only latex will be taken. It can be sold in the market for cash, for commercial purpose. That we can call it as the non-food crops. And rubber need rainfall. How much rainfall? 200 centimeter of rainfall is necessary. You know, it's suitable in Kerala, then Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. It's suitable for rubber cultivation. Why? Because we have adequate quantities of rain. Especially Kerala people, they are mainly engaged in which agriculture? Rubber. They mainly focused on rubber because we get adequate rainfall. So that we are mainly focused on commercial crops or non-food crops like rubber. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka cultivated this rubber. Next we want to study the non-food crops. Second one, that is fiber crops. The fiber crops, when we study about the fiber crops, you know very well that there are cotton, jute, natural silks. These are all considered as the fiber crops. Fibers, there are two types of fibers are there: synthetic fiber and natural fiber. You know it very well. Sometimes you may study in the science, natural fiber and synthetic fiber is there. But here it is natural fiber or natural fiber is we can call it as these are all fiber crops. We are studying this natural fiber. That is cotton, jute and natural silk are considered as natural fiber. Synthetic fiber is there. When we buy synthetic fiber, we no need to give much money because that expense is very less. That is why these synthetic fiber products, the cost will be very less compared to the natural fiber products. You know it very well. So natural fiber examples: cotton, jute, natural silk. These are all fiber crops. You know it very well. Next we are studying on the fiber crops. We want to study that is cotton. First of all, we want to discuss about the cotton. You know it very well that cotton cultivation, for cotton cultivation, which soil is good for cotton cultivation? Black soil. Black soil is otherwise called regger. Black soil is otherwise called regger. Black soil is good for cotton cultivation. Which soil is good for cotton cultivation? Black soil is good for cotton cultivation. Black soil is otherwise called regger. Black soil is otherwise called regger. It is good for cotton cultivation. This cotton that will be from the mulberry plants. The cotton will be extracted. That cotton will be extracted from cotton plants. That is correct. Cotton plants are there. From the cotton plants we will take this cotton as a ball. We will take it and we will this can be used in the cotton textile industries. The cotton is the raw materials. These raw materials that converted these raw materials that converted into finished products or cotton clothes. Make it as cotton, change it as cotton clothes by different process in the industries. That we can call it. That is cotton. Actually, the original home of cotton is in India. India is the original home of cotton. So, when the Britishers came to India, they also cultivated cotton cultivation in India. Why? Because they understood that this was a commercial crops. Moreover, the soil of India is good for cotton cultivation. The soil of India. Why? Because black soil is abundant in India, so that it is good for cotton cultivation. They know it very well. That is why Britishers, they cultivated cotton cultivation. They cultivated this cotton. Cotton is also a kharif crop. So you studied that there are two types of crops: rabi crops and kharif crops. Cotton is considered as kharif crops. Cotton is considered as which crop? Kharif crops. Cotton is considered as kharif crops. Once again, listen. Cotton is a natural fiber. First point, cotton is a natural fiber. The raw materials of this cotton that changed in the factories or industries and make it as cotton clothes or cotton textile industries. So that you know it very well. And it is the home of this cotton. That is the home of India. It's a home of India. Original home of India is in India is the original home of cotton. So it is a kharif crops. It is a kharif crop. Once again, this cotton is considered as a kharif crop. Second, the original home of cotton is in India, and this cotton is the raw materials that is changed in the industries or factories and make it as cotton textile industry. Moreover, cotton is considered as a natural fiber. Cotton is considered as a natural fiber. Never forget. First, we discussed about the rubber. Non-food crops. First, non-food crops. That today we are studying about the non-food crops. crops. First one is rubber. Rubber largely cultivated in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. Kerala is mainly depending nowadays mainly depending on this rubber cultivation. You are familiar with the rubber. I am not going to discuss more about the rubber because you are familiar with rubber, and latex will be taken from the rubber that will be selling the market as a commercial purpose, or which is considered as a cash crop. Rubber is considered as cash crops as well as plantation crop. So next we studied about fiber crops. Fiber crops are cotton, jute, natural silk. These are all these fiber crops. These are all fiber crops. These are all natural crops or fiber crops. These are all natural fiber. First natural fiber, first one is cotton. Cotton is the original home of India. Original home of cotton is in India, and we cultivate this cotton is cultivated and through the industries it will be changed as cotton cloths and make it as this cotton textile industries. They change this cotton into cotton cloths in the industries. And for cotton cultivation, black soil is very much suitable for cotton cultivation. Black soil is otherwise called rugger. In examination may ask which soil is good for cotton cultivation. Black soil. Black soil is otherwise called rugger. Once again listen, black soil is otherwise called rugger. Black soil is good for cotton cultivation. Original home of this cotton is in India, and it's a natural fiber, and cotton, that is the raw materials that change in the factories and make it as cotton cloths. That is through this process in the industries that will be happen next. For cotton cultivation, high temperature is necessary for cotton cultivation, and light rainfall and high temperature is necessary for cotton cultivation. These are all fiber crops or natural. These are all natural fibers. Next we are going to study about the jute. Jute is considered as golden fiber. In examination several times, 10th class examination several times asked this question. 100% this question will ask which one is considered as golden fiber. Which one jute is considered as golden fiber. Jute is considered. One more question. Jute is considered as golden fiber. These are the well-drained fertile soil is necessary for this jute cultivation, and high temperature during the time of when it grows. When it grows that time, which high temperature is necessary. When it grows that time, high temperature is very necessary. During the time of growth, this jute is necessary high temperature. Jute is also a natural fiber. Like cotton, jute is also a natural fiber. You know that high temperature during the time of growth is necessary. Then which are the materials that produce from jute? Which are the materials that produce from jute? Bag. Sometimes your parents may use, your mother may use bag. That is jute bag. That was a trend in earlier time. The jute was a trend, and with that jute make these kinds of bags. That is eco-friendly. This the main speciality of this jute bag is that is eco-friendly bag. Jute bag we can use as eco-friendly because it will not harm the nature. That is why we say that this is eco-friendly. This eco-friendly bag, best example is jute bags. So jute can be used for making bags, mat, ropes, carpet, yarn, etc. Sometimes your parent may use this jute bag. So that is eco-friendly bag that will not destroy the nature. So which are the materials that are made from these jute bags, mat, ropes, carpet, yarn? These are all natural fibers. Okay, from that natural fiber produce these types of products like bag, mat, ropes, carpet, yarn, etc. I hope that you understood about the non-food crops. Next one, which are the places, which are the states this jute is cultivated? Which are the places jute cultivated? West Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, Meghalaya. These places are suitable for which cultivation? Jute cultivation. Once again, I want to revise this jute. Jute is called golden fiber. Why jute is considered as golden fiber? Because this is used to make many products like bag, mat, ropes, carpet, yarn, etc. Moreover, it is eco-friendly. That is important. It is eco-friendly. Nowadays, people are preferring eco-friendly items because it will not destroy the nature or our surroundings or nature. So these are all eco-friendly things. Which are the places these cultivated? West Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, Meghalaya. Next, you know, in science you studied about sericulture. You studied about sericulture. What is sericulture? So I am going to discuss Sericulture. Sericulture is the rearing of silkworms for the production of silk fiber. What is sericulture? Rearing of silkworms that is for the production of silk fiber, that is called sericulture. Sometimes you may study about the sericulture very well. Once again I revise this topic. There are two types of agriculture is there. One is one we can call it as food crops, another one we can call it as non-food crops. Today I am going to discuss about non-food crops. What are non-food crops? Fiber crops like cotton, jute, etc. So first we will discuss about the rubber. I don't want to discuss more about rubber. You are familiar with the rubber. Sometimes you may cultivate rubber. Almost all people in Kerala, they are cultivating rubber very much. So Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, they cultivate these crops. How much rainfall is necessary? 200 centimeter rainfall. Then fiber crops. Fiber crops mainly cotton, jute and natural silk are considered as fiber crop. I hope that you understand. First of all, we want to discuss about cotton, that is kharif crops. There are two crops, are the rabi crops and kharif crops. Okay children, next we are studying about the technological and institutional reforms. So government is trying to reform this agriculture sector. So here you understand that the price of agriculture happen due to the techno-institutional changes. If technological and institutional changes happen, then only the price of the agriculture will increase. Otherwise, agriculture produce will not, the price of that agriculture produce will not increase, because modern technologies and institutional reforms will be added to the development. Then only the agriculture sector can be improved. Because more than 60% of the population in India, they engage in agriculture. Agriculture has been called as the backbone of Indian economy. Never forget it. Agriculture has been called as the backbone of Indian economy. So we have to protect this sector. Which sector? Agriculture sector. India is considered as an agrarian economy. Why agrarian economy? India is totally mainly focusing on agriculture. So India is suitable for agriculture because climate, then soil, all these things are favorable for the cultivation of agriculture. That is why we say that Indian economy is an agrarian economy. More than 60% of the population in India engage in agriculture. Agriculture has been called the backbone of Indian economy. And if we will give a proper technological advancement and development will be given to agriculture, definitely agriculture sector we can develop this agriculture. So government understood that it is very necessary to improve the agricultural economy and agricultural sector. For that they introduced techno-institutional changes. Technological as well as institutional changes. First of all, which are the programs and reforms introduced by our government for this cultivation, for the improvement of agriculture? First of all, collectivization. What is collectivization? Government, in earlier days, you know that land is fragmented in different areas. These fragmented here means separated. This separated land will be joined together and to cultivate in the vast areas under the government support. That we can call it as collectivization. What is collectivization? Collectivization means the fragmented areas should be joined together and make it as a large tracts of land, and that land will be cultivated by the support of our government. That we can call it as collectivization. This collectivization is good for the improvement of agriculture. Collectivization is very good for the improvement of agriculture. That is an institutional reform. That is considered as institutional reforms. Government focused on agriculture, so that institutional reforms like first one, collectivization was introduced in India. Next is consolidation of holdings. Consolidation of the holdings. So different peoples having different land holdings. These different peoples having different land holdings. That land holdings should be consolidated. That should be joined together. That should be added. Consolidate means added or joined together. That we can call it as consolidation. This consolidation of the holdings. Holdings means the land area of different peoples. This land area of the different peoples, that will be consolidated by the government, and government is giving all kinds of support for the development of this agriculture, that we can call it as institutional reforms, that are institutional reforms. Next one is cooperation and abolition of Jamindari. Have you heard about the Jamindari system? You may studied about the Jamindari system. Jamindars were the money lenders in ancient time. They are landowners. They are landowners of large areas of land, and landless persons will be allowed to cultivate this land, and they collected all this money from these landless peasants, poor peasants. They were called Jamindars. Jamindars were the intermediaries, we can call it as, they were the intermediaries in ancient. During the time of Britishers, the first Britishers, they supported Jamindari. Later on they avoided Jamindaris, because Jamindars, they collected taxes from the people, and they gave some money, they will keep it in their pocket, and after balance will be given to the Britishers. Britishers later on understood this system, and Jamindari system was abolished in India by the Britishers. The Jamindars during that time, why I told this Jamindari system, because Jamindars have vast powers and privileges in ancient times. They exploited the poor peasants. Peasants here I mean that farmers. Peasants were the farmers. Poor farmers, they were exploited by these Jamindars, and these Jamindars were totally abolished by our government. The government understood that they were intermediaries. They are collecting money from the peasants, and they are exploiting them. They are looting them. In order to avoid this situation, government abolished this Jamindari. When the institutional reforms that happens, first of all, avoid this abolition of this. Abolition means totally avoided these Jamindars, and cooperation will be encouraged. What is cooperation? Cooperative society will be that peoples, they join together, the peasants or peoples, or they join together, and they can together cultivate, and that dividends will be, they can equally share the dividends. That is the type of reforms that happen during when the Britishers take much interest to this agriculture. Third one we are studying about during when 5-year plans that was established in India, when 5-year plan was implemented in India, when 5-year plans implemented in that time, we gave more importance. First 5-year plans focused on agriculture. Government understood that it is necessary, it is a backbone of our country. It is necessary to reform this agriculture sector. So that the government introduced green revolution. What is green revolution? You know that revolution means radical and fundamental changes. Whatever the things that we are changing and to reform it, that we can call it as revolution. Revolution means radical and fundamental change that we can call it. So radical and fundamental change in which field? Agriculture. That is called agricultural revolution. Or we can say green revolution. That is called green revolution in the field of agriculture. That is green revolution. Green revolution focused that was focused during the 5-year plans. When that takes, they give more importance to these land reforms. That Jamindars were avoided, given more opportunities to collectivization. Then the consolidation of the holdings will be collected together. Next, cooperation. Then the cooperative societies were made, and Jamindars were abolished. These are the reforms that was taken by our government. That was the steps introduced by our government to reform agriculture. I hope that you understood this much. Next, government introduced laws and reforms. Certain laws and reforms that was implemented, that was introduced in India. Why? The main reason is that the farmers were exploited during the ancient time. In order to avoid this situation, government introduced many laws in favor of the peasants. That is important. In favor of the peasants, land reforms that was introduced in India in favor of the people or peasants. These laws that protect the people, especially the farmers or poor peasants. So government introduced laws and reforms. Next, in the green revolution, they gave more importance to package technology. You know, nowadays you know very well about packages. Different packages that will be introduced in India for the development of agriculture. Package technology was introduced in India to develop agriculture. Package technology. Then you know very well about white revolution. In the field of dairy and dairy products, we can call it as white. That total changes that happened, that we can call it as white revolution. You have heard about Varghese Kulian. So this white revolution, that is otherwise called Operation Flood. Sometimes examination may ask, what do you know about Operation Flood? The same thing only, white revolution in the field of dairy products. Agriculture sector, they want to give importance to agriculture sector. This agriculture and allied sector, together we can call it as, I told you earlier, primary sector. Which are the three sectors in Indian economy? Primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Here we are discussing about this first sector, that is prime. Prime means first. Primary sector, first sector. So base or prime or base we can call it as primary sector. This primary sector will be given importance to agriculture and allied occupation. Allied here means related occupations. Here given importance to this revolution, and there will be total changes in agriculture that related to white revolution. First we discussed about green revolution, next white revolution, that also part of green revolution. So there are different types of things that the government have done. First of all, try to understand that the government has given insurance to the farmers. The farmers, they are cultivating the land. Sometimes droughts may happen, flood may happen, and other natural calamities may occur. When drought, flood and other natural calamities may occur, definitely that will destroy the crops. If crops failure may happen, government is ready to help these poor peasants. Government is always ready to help these poor peasants. For that, government will introduce insurance plans. Through this insurance, the farmers will be benefited. The farmers will get insurance. Suppose sometimes all of a sudden natural calamities may occur. The people, the crop failure may happen. So they were, we can say, they were helpless people. They were helpless people. They can't do anything. They will get huge loss. They will get huge. In order to escape from the huge loss, government decided to give insurance to the crops insurance. Now you know very well that all the farmers, they are taking insurance, crop insurance they are taking. But this was also introduced in India. So insurance was especially for the peasants or the farmers. Next is Gramin Bank. You know that Gramin Bank was established. Why this bank established in the rural areas? Rural means Gramin, or we can say village. In village areas, why these rural banks were established or Gramin Bank was established? The main reason is that these peasants, they were not well educated. They know the basic of the agriculture. They were only traditional farmers. They know only the things they taught from their parents, so that they cultivated this land. They are not much educated. So they don't know. They do not know anything about the banks and other things. Moreover, the banks may be far away from the rural areas or the village areas. These poor peasants, they can't go to the cities. They can't go to the cities. Most of the banks situated in the cities, these poor peasants, they can't go to the cities. 3-4 kilometers they can't go to there, and to get money from the banks as a loan in order to cultivate the crops. Then definitely they need a loan. If they can't go to this city, and they can't collect the money from the banks. So that time what they will do, they will do one thing. They will collect money from the money lenders. They collect money from the money lenders. The money lenders, they are ready to give money to them. So the money lenders, they will do one thing. They will give money. They are ready to give. They are standing to give money for the money lenders. Money lenders are there. These money lenders, they want to loot. They are waiting for a chance. They are waiting for a prey. They are waiting for a chance at that time. These farmers will approach them. When these farmers will approach them for money, they are ready to give. But they have to collect a huge amount as interest. They will collect a huge amount as interest. So they will be exploited. So in order to avoid the situation, government decided to establish Gramin banks. So the banks will be situated in the villages or rural areas. Suppose if the banks will be situated in the rural areas or villages, people can reach the peasants can reach that bank very easily. They can go to the bank and they can collect that money from that bank, and they can repay the amount that was taken from the bank. Why? Because main reason is that interest is very low. The interest that will be taken by this Grameen bank or these rural banks that will be very less compared to the money lenders. Money lenders, they collected huge amount of money as interest. At the same time, this Grameen bank or village bank, they won't collect high amount as interest, so that people can reach there, they can collect money from the Grameen bank, then they can repay it also after getting a good crops, they can repay it also, so that their life will be secured. That is why government established many banks in the rural areas, many banks in the rural areas. That is called Grameen bank. That is called a Grameen bank, and interest is very less. So the peasants can approach this Grameen bank. Next is cooperative societies. You know that cooperative societies are there. Many cooperative societies also ready to help the peasants. Peasants, when they are in need of money or they are in need of the help, the cooperative societies are always ready to help them. Cooperative farms, cooperative societies, cooperative banks, etc. will be established in India, so that it will protect the poor peasants or these villages will be helped by these cooperative societies. I hope that you understood about insurance, then Grameen bank, then cooperative societies. Next we are studying about banks. Many banks were established in different parts of India. Many banks were established. The aim of this bank was to give money for these poor peasants as a loan, so that they can take money whenever they are in need of money. They can collect money from the banks and they can give interest to the banks. That interest may be zero interest or maybe low interest. They can repay it, so that they will be saved. It is a saying that farmers are born in debt, live in debt, and die in debt. Why? Because they collect money from the money lenders. So government understood that money lenders are exploiting and they are making money. They want to avoid these money lenders or jamindars or money lenders will be avoided, and government established many Grameen banks. Other than these, many banks were established in different parts of India. Next we are studying about Kisan credit cards. Kisan credit cards, that will be the government given focus importance to the protection of this Kisan, that Kisan credit cards that were issued to these poor peasants or farmers. For farmers, Kisan credit cards were given, and all kinds of helps were given by the government to protect and help these poor peasants. That is Kisan credit cards. Next we want to study about personal accident scheme. Personal accident insurance scheme. Personal accident insurance scheme that was established by government in order to save the poor peasants. This especially to protect the agriculture sector. So that is personal accident insurance scheme or PAIS. So personal accident insurance scheme that was also established in India to protect these poor peasants or the farmers. Next one is minimum support price. You know that the farmers, they are facing the most important problem is that their agricultural produce they can't sell at a higher price. So they were forced to sell their agricultural produce at a lower price. So most of the times the farmers they are in danger because they spend a lot of money for their agriculture. After these crops will be ripened, or that when harvesting the crops, they can't sell the crops at higher prices. So huge loss may happen to this farmers or agriculturists. The agriculturists or the farmers or the peasants, they cultivate crops. The expense of that crops for growing, sowing and harvesting, so they spend a lot of money. So that money they will not get because they will get a low price in that agricultural produce. So that government understood that these peasants or the farmers, they are suffering a lot. It is our responsibility, it is our duty I mean the government duty to protect these peasants from this danger, so that the government fixed the minimum support price, that is called MSP. What is minimum support price? In order to protect these peasants and farmers, a minimum amount was fixed for their produce, for agriculture products. For their agricultural products, an amount was fixed by our government, so that these peasants, they can, at least they will get a minimum support price. At least they will get a minimum support. At least they will get a minimum support price, so that they can be saved. They will be saved due to this minimum support price. These are the techno-institutional reforms. First we discussed about the institutional reforms. Which are the institutional reforms? Collectivization, consolidation of holdings, cooperation and abolition of gemindari. Next we studied about the introduction of 5-year plans and land reforms. Then government and land reforms, reforms. Next is green revolution. How the green revolution that helps to the development of agriculture. Then package, the green revolution, especially package technology. Next, white revolution, we discussed about white revolution. White revolution is otherwise called operation flood. White revolution is otherwise called operation flood. Is also to the farmers. Next, we discussed about the programs that was conducted by our government. First one, insurance. Insurance will be given to the peasants so that they will be saved. So most of the agriculture produce will be a great loss due to natural calamities like flood, droughts and other natural calamities. Even rain also may, during the time of harvesting, if rain occur also, that will destroy the crops fail or may happen. So that they will be saved the insurance. Next, Gramin banks, we discussed about the Gramin banks. Next, cooperative societies also we discussed. Then different banks that will be established in India. Then Kisan Credit Insurance Scheme that was also established in India. Next, personal accident scheme, insurance scheme also protect the farmers. Last one I discussed now, that is minimum support price. I hope that you understood. I hope that you understood all these things. In technological and institutional reforms, I hope that you understood it very well. Next topic I am going to discuss. So I hope that this much you understood. Okay children, let us discuss the balance of this lesson, agriculture. First we are studying about the Bhutan movement. What is Bhutan movement? Here it was started by Vinoba Bhave. Who started Bhutan movement? That was started by Vinoba Bhave. Actually this Vinoba Bhave followed Gandhiji. He has been called as the Gandhiji spiritual heir. He was the follower of Gandhiji, and he mainly focused on Gandhiji, and he followed Gandhiji. And Gandhiji's spiritual heir was Vinoba Bhave. He totally followed Vinoba Bhave totally followed Gandhiji. Then he started Padayatra. After the death of Mahatma Gandhi, he started Padayatra. Padayatra, you know very well that processions, that jatras, or we can say that the travels through this land, that we can call it as Padayatra. This Padayatra that was started on foot, so we can call it as Padayatra. This Padayatra started by this Gandhiji's spiritual heir Vinoba Bhave. And he always interested to follow Gandhiji. And when he reached this Padayatra, he reached Andhra Pradesh. This Pochampalli, that was a place in Andhra Pradesh. When Pochampalli, that place, this Vinoba Bhave, he reached this Pochampalli. That time, so many landless peasants, they said that we did not have land. If you give land to us, we will cultivate, and we can, with the help of this agriculture, we can prosper our life. So landless peasants, their demand that was aired by Vinoba Bhave, that was in his mind, and he shared his ideas. That time, one person, his name is you know that Sri Ram Chandra Reddy. His name is Sri Ram Chandra Reddy. This Sri Ram Chandra Reddy, he is ready to give 80 acre of land to these peasants. He is ready to distribute his land. 80 acre of land he is ready to distribute to these landless peasants, and he distributed 80 acre of landless 80 acre of land to the landless peasants, so that this he started this Bhutan Bhutan Gramdhan movement. It means that the earth will be gifted to these landless peasants. That movement he started, that is Bhutan Gramdhan movement. What is that? Bhutan, otherwise called the Bhutan movement. Bhutan movement that was started, and actually Sri Ramchandra Reddy, actually he is ready to give 80 acre of land. This 80 acre of land will be distributed to these poor landless peasants. That was the beginning of this Bhutan movement. That was the beginning of this movement. And so many peoples, they are ready to give land to Vinoba Bhave, especially the many owners of the land. They also ready to give land to this Vinoba Bhave, and Vinoba Bhave collected this land and given to these landless peasants and poor peoples. That movement later came to be known as Bhutan movement. Even the rich people, even Jamindars, even the owners of the land, then wealthy peoples like Sri Ramchandra Reddy, all these peoples, they were ready to give land to these poor peasants. That later it became a great movement. That movement later came to be known as Bhutan movement. Who was the propounder of Bhutan movement? That is Vinoba Bhave. Never forget who was the propounder of this Bhutan movement. That is Vinoba Bhave. That was these ideas that was influenced all over India about this Bhutan movement. So this movement, without any blood, this revolution that happens, so that we can call it as bloodless revolution. This Bhutan Gramdhan movement. Bhutan Gramdhan movement later came to be known as bloodless revolution, without killing anyone or without forcing anyone to get a land. Normally the people will come forward, they were ready to contribute land to the poor peasants. That movement later came to be known as Bhutan movement. Bhutan Gramdhan movement later came to be known as bloodless revolution. Bloodless revolution. Sometimes in examination may ask what is blood revolution in the field of agriculture, or what you know about this Bhutan movement. So such type questions may ask, you can answer it very well. Vinoba Bhave started this Bhutan movement. He was a follower of Gandhiji. He was the spiritual heir of Gandhiji. He started Padayatra. When he reached Pochampalli, that was in Andhra Pradesh. When he reached Pochampalli in Andhra Pradesh, that time Sri Ramchandra Reddy, he is ready to give 80 acres of land to the landless persons. So he started his movement. That movement later came to be known as Bhutan movement. Like this, so many rich landowners, Jamindars and other peoples, they donated and contributed the land. So that will be given to the poor peasants. That movement later came to be known as Bhutan Gramdhan movement. This Bhutan Gramdhan movement later came to be known as that is came to be called as bloodless revolution. Bloodless revolution. I hope that you understood about bloodless revolution. Next, what are the contribution of agriculture? Which are the contribution of agriculture? Next topic I am going to discuss, that is the contribution of agriculture. Actually, you know that 60%, more than 60% of the peoples, they are engaged in agriculture. Agriculture has been called as the backbone of Indian economy. So we cannot deny the importance of agriculture. It increases the national income, because most of the people, they are engaged in agriculture. Definitely their income will increase. That will be added to the national income. And this, when it added to the national income, it increases the GDP. What is gross domestic product? The total of these goods and services. Goods and services, from the primary, secondary and tertiary sectors, they produce goods as well as services. From these goods and services, added to the national income of our country, that resulted in the gross domestic produce or product, that is GDP. That increased the GDP. If GDP rate will increase, definitely the country will go to a prosperous stage, no doubt at all. Our country, you know very well, that is a developing country. If GDP will definitely increase, definitely our country will reach developed stage or developed country. I hope that you understood about this national income, GDP, employment, and livelihood. Most of what is livelihood? Most of the people, they are living with this agriculture only. They live with the agriculture. That is their livelihood. Without agriculture, they can't live. So that is livelihood. Next is many people, you know that nowadays, you know very well that there is a major issue that happened in India, that is suicide of these farmers. Why this suicide happened to the farmers? Why people are committing suicide? Why this agriculture sector people, those who are engaged in agriculture, they commit suicide due to several reasons. They commit suicide. Sometimes they may borrow money from money lenders, exploitation of money lenders, they may commit suicide. So or otherwise they collect money from banks due to crop failure and they did not get insurance, so that they may commit suicide. So they can't pay the repayment, that time they commit suicide. Sometimes due to family expenditure also they may commit suicide. Family expenditure, I mean that sometimes their children may get a good agriculture college or any other good college, get admission, they have to give lakhs of rupees. That times they borrow money from bank so that they cannot repay it in time, so that they may commit suicide. So due to several reasons, the farmers they may commit suicide. So this can be avoided. So government aim was to protect and preserve, also to protect these farmers from these kinds of problems, especially suicide problems can be eliminated from our country. That was the aim of our government. Then we want to study about there are lot of policies, programs that was introduced in India to develop agriculture. You know that in Indian agriculture and American agriculture is entirely different. Indian agriculture only basic knowledge is necessary. Traditional farmers are there. They learned from their forefathers and they cultivated. But in American agriculture, the people they know everything. They want they get driving license. They want to study driving. They want to know about more things from the agricultural universities. They studied in the agricultural universities. Then they introduce modern methods of farming and they hybrid qualities of seeds they used. They are well equipped. These farmers are well educated in America compared to India. India they are mainly focused on traditional method of farming. Traditional method of farming is used in India. At the same time, in America, you know that they are using the modern method of farming. So that in order to make the agriculture modernize in India also, modernize our government also decided to modernize agriculture in India. For that purpose, they established Indian Council of Agricultural Research. Indian Council of Agriculture, ICAR or Indian Council of Agricultural Research, that was established in India for the development of this agricultural sector. Next is universities. Many agricultural universities were established in India. Many agricultural universities were established in India to develop this agricultural sector. Animal breeding centers, hybrid animals, for that they introduced this animal breeding centers in India. Many parts of India, animal breeding centers were established to modernize agriculture. Next, horticulture. Horticulture also developed in our country. Horticulture give importance to horticulture. Next is research development research. Many research centers for agriculture and agriculture produce many research centers that was established in India. Next, weather forecast given to the people of agriculture, so that they will be engaged in agriculture. So there will be development that happen. So that you know that these are all the. So I am concluding that you understood about development. Then we discuss about the problems of suicide. Then these are all these activities the problem. Then these are the modernizing methods that introduced in India. I hope that you understood this lesson agriculture. Okay.